Representative Dave Nehring. Thank you. And Dave has agreed to come on. I think it's going to be a really interesting chat. He is the representative from District 8. We're going to talk about all sorts of stuff that has been going on and has been in the news. It's going to be good, so you hang with us tonight.
We got an action-packed show and some interesting brain food for you down the line, too,
yes.
So stick around. Don't miss that. So we're kicking things off with talking about Biden's border, and I have to try to find the politically correct word for it because apparently it's not a crisis. According to the Biden administration, it's not a crisis.
So I heard Pelosi call it a situation.
A situation, yeah, instead of situation. But the situation at the southern border and the southwest border is, at this point, pretty dicey and kind of a mess. And it's taking notice of not only the press on the right, or you're right, but also on the left as well. So that means that CNN's even covering. I got to do the opposite for you on TV. My left is your right. Anyway, so the deal is that you've got tons and tons of people coming to the border en masse, and you've got basically the Biden administration saying, nothing to see here. We're all fine. Everything's copacetic and fine. There are no babies in cages. Don't worry about it. So I found this online. I'm going to show you just a really quick little, it's a meme. It's just a picture that somebody put up, and it just made me laugh. That just made me giggle, too. I do not think there was a border crisis a year ago, as a matter of fact. I think things were doing well, and this is just he's not really there. That's a Crowder takeoff, but it just made me laugh.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yes.
I thought how unusual.
Wow, that's
to see
the president.
former President Trump in a sweatshirt.
There are people. They live among us.
No.
Okay, so.
No, they don't. All right. So I agree with you. The situation on the border, whatever it was a year ago, it's worse now, and it is worse specifically because of the Biden administration and the message, the
messaging.
Exactly what they were communicating, either directly or indirectly, to the peoples of the nations south of our border.
You and I haven't talked about this, but anybody wondering how they got all those T-shirts? Have you seen the T-shirts? People, I'm like, where did those all come from? How did people magically get these T-shirts that say, President Biden let us in? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing. But the CNN story, which we're covering now, is very, very interesting. It's very apologetic for President Biden. It's clearly a double standard situation. And of course, overriding it is this whole children in cages thing, because what we heard relentlessly from mainstream media and the left media is all about how evil Trump is and Trump's supporters are, because not only are they racist, but they love to see brown children in cages.
Exactly.
And what's fascinating is there are more brown children in cages at this time, except we're not using that term anymore. It's no longer cages, it's rudimentary facilities.
Right? It's always that these people are really good at the messaging. I'm just going to give them that. They are very good at flipping the messaging. And this is one of those cases where it was really interesting how they said, all right, for Roberta Jacobson, coordinator for the southern border, said on CNN's New Day that the administration had only been in office for a matter of weeks, and they had moved swiftly to restore humanity to U.S. immigration policy, to warn potential migrants in local media that the border wasn't open, and to step up economic and food aid to keep people in their home countries. But what that is totally redirection from what they actually said, which was, come on in, and you know what, let's do like 2 million of them, maybe 2 million of them. I mean, I recall Biden saying that as well.
Right. And I'm just going to pop back to the kids in cages concept again. This is a situation in which someone is doing an illegal activity. And if you have children and you're being detained, the children are separated from you, regardless of whether you're a citizen or not. The children are separated. Right. And so the cages, or whatever you want to call them, but they're essentially
holding
pens or whatever it is. But the point is, your children are going to be separated.
Well, they need to protect them.
Many of them did not even come with their parents. Right. They came with coyotes, and so they're being used. And so they were separated. Now, this program started, as we've mentioned before, in the Obama administration. So this whole concept of children in cages started with Obama. It continued with Trump, because you have a situation, and if people are breaking the law and they're being detained, the children are separated.
Correct.
It's continuing with Biden, except it's threefold worse because of the messaging that the left and the Biden administration had done during their campaigning to say, we are all in favor of undocumented workers coming across the border. And so, of course, he wins. People are coming in droves. Kids are being sent without parents, being sent alone, and minors and the teens. Small children are being sent with coyotes.
That's awful.
It's a horrible situation. There are many, many more children being kept in separate facilities. The problem I have is, again, the double standard, the hypocritical media, where it's kids in cages, horrible, horrible, orange man bad, and now President Biden, he's doing everything he can. He's messaging. He's messaging across the borders to say, don't come. Lie.
Right, yeah.
But
it's the classic projection thing that we talk about all the time, too. You know, I am doing this, but I'm going to project it on somebody else, and Trump supposedly did this, but the truth is that they're doing this. And the human trafficking toll right now, the massive amount, if they're like, $3,200 per kid. It's horrible, the things that are going on right now. And the frightening thing is the people in Texas. I have got to wonder what the people in Texas are thinking. Now, I know that Greg Abbott has acted to try to, you know, squelch and to thwart the influx in Texas on his own, separate from the federal government, and he almost needs to do that. But the funny thing, too, is how they blame it on Trump. That's the part, the flip where they blame it on Trump that gets me. And I have a little, all right, Press Secretary Jen Psaki had this to say the other day.
Go ahead. Oh, we'll go to you, Steve, next. So go ahead.
Thanks. Just two quick ones. Jen, given how fast-moving the situation has been, does the president believe that his administration has a handle on what's happening on the southern border right now?
We certainly do. And let me just give you a bit of an update on a couple of the steps that we're taking. You know, first, let me say that like COVID, obviously a different issue, but we recognize this is a big problem. The last administration left us a dismantled and unworkable system, and like any other problem, we are going to do everything we can to solve it.
What I'd like to say first is I'm not going to directly answer your question.
Correct.
But I do know Orange Man bad.
Right.
And the solutions we have are a multitude of wonderful, wonderful solutions, and we are working together.
And we're just going to solve it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite is that they had left dismantled systems from the Trump administration. I'm like, honey, maybe you don't understand what that word means, because it was not dismantled. It was shored up. It was just the opposite.
You can say honey because you're of the same gender.
I can. I can get away with saying that. He's not wrong.
But yes,
true.
They did say that in the CNN report that they have to rebuild what Trump dismantled, which is crazy because what they're rebuilding is illegal immigration, because what Trump had dismantled was illegal immigration.
Exactly.
It's absolutely nuts. And so you're absolutely right. They are blaming Trump, but this is so predictable.
It is. It could be expected.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Clinton blamed Reagan when he got in for many years for everything that was an issue. Obama, my gosh, blamed Bush nonstop for at least 5-6 years.
Oh yeah, and he had been out of office for 5 or 6 years. No, you're right.
Everything was on the predecessor.
Yep, that's
and
true.
of course, that's what we're going to have here. The Harris administration will continue to blame Trump for all of her 3 years or 3.5 years that she's going to be president. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, it is. It's
and what again, the media is apologetic for Biden. They're redirecting. They're saying, for instance, well, you know, the Republicans are bad because they're trying to call them out. Biden is busy because he's so focused on COVID and vaccinations, and the Republicans are simply trying to take attention away from those good things.
Yeah, right.
When in fact, it's the media trying to take attention away from the issue of the border to say, but, hey, he's giving everyone $1,400. Isn't that awesome?
Woohoo! But nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here. Yeah, the border. It is a crisis, and I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. We'll give you some updates on that as we go along, probably.
Dave Nehring's coming up. Hang with us. We've got lots of good discussion because you know I don't like what the governor was doing in his race. Let's see what happens.
When you can't find answers to your recurring health challenges, it can feel like your health and your future are being held hostage. The Wellness Way is a network of health restoration clinics that think and act differently to solve the health challenges others can't. Here, we disrupt the standard approach to care through a combination of testing, individual plans, and one-on-one guidance, putting your health and your future where they belong, in your own hands.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
Life changes, so what's on your horizon? Horizon Financial Bank has been helping North Dakotans with financial goals since 1905. And now we're here to serve you in Bismarck. We're North Dakota proud, and being from North Dakota means something. A bank with small-town roots. We've crossed many horizons, and now we're here to help you cross yours. We're Horizon Financial Bank for the changes on your horizon.
Towards chubbier guys.
Oh.
And you
well, it makes us look thinner, so there's that.
Sure, you don't have to worry about that.
I wear black, and that's my slimming color.
Hey, we're back with No Apologies on Beck. We've got Representative Dave Nehring. And Dave, there's so much setup, but I'm not going to take the whole segment to give the setup. In essence, you are a representative from District 8, brand new to the legislature. There's a lot of interesting aspects to your primary race, and then additional aspects that continued after the election. So first off, welcome.
Thanks.
Welcome to the show. We'll get into your and my interactions and so forth in a moment. But
perfect.
Could you, for our viewers, give a little bit of setup on District 8, what got you interested, and kind of leading up into the primary, if you would,
Absolutely.
Please.
Thanks, Rick. You know, it's something that I've been interested in for some time. I spent some time at the Capitol during the 17 and 19 sessions working on some energy issues. Had fun doing that, got more involved with District 8 politics because of it. Had spent some time with Representative Laning, wondering if he was going to run again for the 67th Legislative Assembly, and he had made that decision. And when he decided he wasn't going to run any longer, I decided that I wanted to run for the position. And, you know, you talk about the primary, but it was the whole campaign, the nominating convention, the primary, to the general election, and all of the strange things that happened along the way. You know, if a person were going to write a story that had everything,
yeah, you
couldn't imagine everything that happened during this whole process. But I'd heard that David Andal was also going to run, and I didn't, I knew David not real well, but started looking into whether or not he was actually going to run. And so he and I got together and along with some other people from District 8, and decided we wanted to run. You know, there was a misconception that was engineered by the governor's office, which isn't true. The governor's pack did come in later after the endorsing convention, and to way more than the extent that we expected, quite honestly. We weren't prepared for that. You know, it certainly helped, I think. You'd probably agree.
Yes, I do.
But it was all through the process. It was, you know, we worked our tails off to get people to the endorsing convention. We signed up a lot of new District 8 members, and got to the endorsing convention. We were successful because of it.
So thank you for that. So for our viewers, you've heard Lori and I at least speak about the governor's involvement in various primary races, and specifically District 8 is the whole situation where the governor was involved in a lawsuit taken to the Supreme Court with regard to seating a legislator, because Dave Ondal, who Representative Nehring just referred to, did win along with Dave, but passed away. And so I find this little story really interesting, because you and I get along very well, and I think we work well together. I think you have a very good voting record. As I mentioned the other day to you, in my opinion, you're clearly in the upper aspect of the freshman class for a good voting record.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
You bet. What's interesting is how you, and I completely stand behind people saying, I want to get involved, and yes, I know I have sitting legislators, but I think I can do as good or better job. I'm going to put my name in the hat. We're going to see what happens. I'm totally on board with that. Mm-hmm. A lot of grassroots conservatives get involved in that respect. But the problem is it got weird when the governor got involved.
Absolutely.
And it's at that point I got involved basically against you, frankly,
sure.
You know, to be honest. I'm sure you know that.
Absolutely.
Because I don't think the governor had any business, and I don't think the governor should have been trying to buy races. And Dave, you and the other Dave, because we used to call you the Daves, worked hard on your own merit, but then when the governor came in and started dumping money, and then I'm like, this just isn't right. And so there was that component then where I think a lot of people felt that you, when you came in, were going to be sort of marginalized, that especially the conservatives were going to say, we're not working with this guy, we're not touching this guy.
But that's not how it works.
It's not how it works. And to be honest, I don't know if I was making something up in my head, Dave, but it felt like you were, when you first came in, that you were maybe anticipating that. I got a sense that you were sort of, I don't know all the little psychobabble crap, but
preparing for that or not?
I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I had that conception up front that it was going to be difficult to work with. Exactly what you just said, more specifically, the more conservative people in our party. And I'm going to tell you that hasn't been the case.
Yeah.
That's so good to hear.
I've really felt as though my relationships with the vast majority of the legislators, or at least on the House side, have been really good.
Yeah, I think they have too. You know, I'll tell our viewers a little bit. You know, I asked you to be on a couple of bills. My belief is everyone should be given an opportunity to sort of declare by their actions who they really are, regardless of preconceived notions. And then I was surprised you responded and were very appreciative and jumped right in and worked with me and worked with others. You got up to spoke on a bill that was, I forget if I was my bill or whatever it was, and you let me know, hey, this is the issue, we're going to be bringing this up.
Sure.
I mean, really working well, and I got to hand it to you. Not everyone does that, and I respect you for that.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Well, you know, and that's what I was going to say is that respect goes both ways, though, and it's easy to do that. And the other part of this is that you need to spend some time learning the legislation and how it impacts others, and even though you may not agree with the concept, you need to give it a fair shake. And that's one thing I like about our legislature is a bill is going to get 4 looks typically, And you know, a lot of state legislatures don't operate the same way as North Dakota's. And if you, that's the one thing that I've found amazingly interesting, is that if you spend the time doing the research and looking at the testimony and talking to others, and you can make the right decisions. I don't know that I've always done that, but I've tried to.
Yeah, oh, I respect that. And, you know, I still, regardless that you turned out to be a pretty darn good guy, I still am not supporting the governor in his actions, and I'm not going to ask you to comment on that. Well, you know what? I'm gonna put you on the spot just a little bit.
I was going to say, like, he's not going to ask him, but I'm like, I could ask him.
No, but here's the thing.
Is this where the mic drop comes in?
No.
Right. You certainly can opt to not directly answer. With regard to the lawsuit, because I think that that's separate from your actual campaign, I think that the governor got involved with the lawsuit of seating a legislator simply because he didn't want to lose what he wanted. And I think it was that vein. Do you think that the governor had a standing to take it to a lawsuit, which cost the taxpayers money? Do you think he had standing? Do you think he had reason, or do you think that it would have been better to stand back and say, this is how it goes, we're going to let things ride out?
Let the district choose.
Well, hindsight being 20/20.
It is.
What, exactly. Well, it turns out that he didn't have standing.
Yeah.
You know, I think you're spot on. You know, and he was invested, and I don't mean money-wise, but he was invested in making sure that Andal and I were the District 8 reps, and I think he had to continue that through. It turns out he obviously didn't have standing.
Yeah. Well, I think invested is right. I think you are exactly right. The governor gets invested in trying to see through to get what he wants, and that's where it took it. At any rate, so Dave, we're going to have you on for another segment. We are going to be talking about Second Amendment bills. Dave is a strong Second Amendment supporter, as we are, and so hang with us. We're going to be talking about gun rights.
When you can't find answers to your recurring health challenges, it can feel like your health and your future are being held hostage. The Wellness Way is a network of health restoration clinics that think and act differently to solve the health challenges others can't. Here, we disrupt the standard approach to care through a combination of testing, individual plans, and one-on-one guidance, putting your health and your future where they belong, in your own hands.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Life changes, so what's on your horizon? Horizon Financial Bank has been helping North Dakotans with financial goals since 1905. And now we're here to serve you in Bismarck. We're North Dakota proud, and being from North Dakota means something. A bank with small town roots. We've crossed many horizons, and now we're here to help you cross yours. We're Horizon Financial Bank for the changes on your horizon.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York style pizza. We also feature gyros with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
All right. You're back with No Apologies on Beck, your after-hours oasis of sanity. I'm your host, Rick Becker. Our co-host, Lori Hintz, is in the fuchsia.
Yes, I am. I am bucking the. I'm sorry, but I am bucking the green trend. I wore green all last week.
Come on.
If you have not figured out by now, I'm a nonconformist.
Boo.
Boo. I
Now,
know.
Dave is wearing blue.
Yeah, but he's got
which
green
was
in
the
his tie.
original color of St. Patrick.
It was?
Which we may get into in Brain
about
Food.
later. Okay,
So,
good to know.
so we have Representative Dave Nehring with us, District 8, and he and I are going to break out into a rendition of Ebony and Ivory.
Fire and Ice last night.
Yeah, Fire and Ice. Now it's Ebony and
All
Ivory.
right, I love that you watch. That's super cool.
I'll be Ebony.
Okay.
You can be Ivory.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So, Dave, what we're talking about this segment is Second Amendment, because it turns out Dave is a strong Second Amendment supporter, which is fantastico, because we love that on this show.
Yes,
Dave gave me a pin, which I told him I am wearing. Well, I wear the pin periodically anyway, but I was going to wear it tonight, and I didn't. I was so focused on wearing green for St. Patrick's. But hey, show Dave's pin there. That is a nice pin. He offered it to a lot of the representatives that are Second Amendment supporters. Anyway, so Dave.
Very nice.
Why don't you kind of bring us in here? You mentioned that you had read an article today, which I've not yet read. Let's talk about Second Amendment.
Today's Epoch Times, talking about the surge of first-time gun ownership. You know, we've been doing some bills talking about ammo shortages and why they've come about. And we know that it has a lot to do with a lot of first-time gun buyers in 2020. I think the statistic said somewhere between 7 million and 8.5 million new gun owners in 2020. Well, that trend has continued. In January, there were over 4 million background checks. And
just in 1 month?
In 1 month.
Think about that. That's crazy. But it's all good.
In January and February, just shy of 8 million. So that's been wild.
So it's not slowing down either.
The checks through NICS from 1998 on, 300 million background checks. 1.5 million have been rejected. I found that statistic kind of strange.
That is.
So yeah, there's the one that I wanted to highlight. There was a 60-year-old Asian man in California who once lived in a communist country. He said, I went to buy a gun in June last year. Couldn't get one, waited for a long time before I finally got my first gun. When I was in a communist country, we had no freedom of speech, much less the possibility of buying a gun. If people had guns, the government would be scared to death. Now what is left of the American people's right to freedom? If even the right to buy a gun is gone, it seems no different from a communist country. You know, we have all of our constitutionally protected rights, but the Second Amendment protects all of those.
Yeah, very, very well said. Very well said. You know, those increases, I find those fascinating because I think they fall generally into two categories. One is the concern that there'll be a prohibition on buying ammunition. Right, you won't be able to get it, so get them now.
Right.
But I think that there are a lot of purchases being made because of the direction the country is going and how we seem to be becoming two different countries. And I think that portends some really concerning analysis.
Well, and you know, we're all tired of COVID, or the COVID impacts, I should say.
Yeah.
California.
Well said. He's been watching the show.
California. Governor Newsom released more than 8,000 prisoners due to, including felons.
What could possibly go wrong?
On grounds of the CCP virus pandemic. So, interestingly enough, California has seen a surge in crime due to increasing lenient prison policies. in less than 2 weeks after Christmas, 47 people were shot and killed in Los Angeles.
Wow. Not even talking about Chicago, not even talking about the southern border, which we just spoke about a little while ago too. And I mean, those people in South Texas, you cannot tell me they're not arming up. They have to, because with the influx of thousands of people, many of them really, really dangerous folks too. I was actually, when we were getting ready to talk about that first segment too, I actually saw some tidbits of information about the amount of terrible people who are coming in there. And I think 4 were arrested that were on the dangerous, most wanted type list. It's like, why are you releasing these dangerous people and expecting that we are not going to arm up?
That's right.
Yep.
A lot of the legislation that we've seen this year has been in reaction to proposed Biden administration, or I should say Harris administration in the near future. Get no disagreement from me.
Right.
I think that's potentially.
I'm going to come over and kiss you pretty soon.
I know,
Well,
really, really.
We do have a lot of parallels, I'll give you that.
Okay.
But, we've seen a lot of this that's been in response to the proposed legislation from the Biden administration. 30-06 was a measure that basically gets sent to the Biden administration saying that North Dakota is not going to adhere to their standards on firearm, ammunitions, and accessories that are legal in North Dakota.
Yep.
And I know 1383, which you prime sponsored, did a great job with that.
So, House Concurrent Resolution 3006, Dave was the prime sponsor on.
Good for you.
That's his baby, sending a message to the President of the United States. So good job on that.
Freshman year, that's pretty cool.
Well, the Second Amendment is so important, though.
Yep.
It's a primary right, and we need to continue to protect that.
Amen.
1383 that you mentioned, which is my bill, that's the one that would say if those crazies in the federal government are going to pass some highly restrictive stuff, fine, we can't stop them, but our local law enforcement, men and women, are not going to be put in the position of enforcing those laws.
That's right.
And I believe you supported that as well.
And you asked me to co-sponsor it, and I was honored to be able to do that.
Yeah, wonderful. Any others that are popping out at you that we've kind of looked at?
I wrote a list, 2344 Senate bill that also deals with, you probably have yours up there, government regulation of firearms and ammo. I think 1272 is another one that we've highlighted that is a pretty...
1272, that's was Luke Simons. I'm going to carry that in Senate Judiciary next week.
Okay, perfect.
That's the one if you have a firearm that's completely manufactured in North Dakota, sold in North Dakota, purchased in North Dakota, kept in North Dakota, that it's none of the federal government's damn business, which I think is a great one.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Dave,
thank
you for coming on.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it a lot.
Appreciate you very much. Folks, hang with us. We are going to be up with some brain food next. Nourishment for your noggin.
Today's households have more digital devices than ever before. More links to family, business, education, and entertainment. Beck Communications spent over 10 years building North Dakota's fastest fiber optic internet service. Beck Lightband Internet, outpacing speeds in large cities nationwide. Lightband Internet handles all your digital needs without throttling your connection to the world. Beck Communications, valuable digital connections in rural North Dakota.
Life changes, so what's on your horizon? Horizon Financial Bank has been helping North Dakotans with financial goals since 1905. And now we're here to serve you in Bismarck. We're North Dakota proud, and being from North Dakota means something. A bank with small town roots. We've crossed many horizons, and now we're here to help you cross yours. We're Horizon Financial Bank for the changes on your horizon.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York style pizza. We also feature gyros with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors. Use your promo code, and for a limited time, when you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Alrighty. Come on, it's No Apologies, I'm back. Why are you crying?
I'm not crying, you're just making me laugh again. You're so funny. Oh man. Okay, all right, let's just jump into brain food. Nourishment for your noggin tonight. All right, my first word, and this is hard because this first word, you look at it and first blush you want to say hamartia, but that's not what it is. It's hamartia. It's hamartia. It is a noun, and the definition of hamartia is a tragic flaw. That's what hamartia is, a tragic flaw. Had you ever heard that word before?
Medically, there's a word called hamartoma.
I was just going to say.
Oh, are you going to talk about it?
Yeah,
okay,
but I'm not going to talk.
It.
No, I'm not going to talk about it. But I saw that also in looking up hamartia. But this word is a hat tip to my friend Lyanne, who found this one for me and sent it over to me because I had never heard this word before. So very interesting. Hamartia arose from the Greek verb hamartanein, meaning to miss the mark or to err. Aristotle introduced the term in the Poetics to describe the error of judgment, which ultimately brings about the tragic hero's downfall. As you can imagine, the word is most often found, of course, in literary criticism. However, news writers occasionally employ the word when discussing the unexplainable misfortune or missteps of uber celebrities regarded as immortal gods and goddesses before being felled by their own shortcomings. I just loved how this was worded. It just made me happy. The sentence that they chose here, and these are all, if you ever are wondering, it's almost always from Merriam-Webster. But the sentence is, Kennedy's ruthlessness and ambition, which are treated as the Kennedy's hamartia in Chappaquiddick, are swept under the rug of his compassion.
Good Lord.
I know, right? That made me laugh. Okay. So I just, sometimes the sentences are really hilarious because they're so slanted, of course, obviously.
This is where I need a filter that makes my eyes look like they're hypnotized.
Right. I remember that. That's a good cartoon reference. Very good. Okay, what do you got?
Okay, next.
He's wearing green, so.
All right, this is St. Patrick. And I am wearing green, and I apologize for my cultural appropriation. Also, I just wanted to let you know that indeed, St. Patrick, his color was blue. Originally it was blue, as Dave Nehring showed us properly. He's wearing St. Patrick's original colors. And St. Patrick was, I don't know, like 400, the years are unknown really, but he was about 400 AD that he was hanging out. And so he was like he was in Ireland, and he had a story that he was kidnapped from Britain and carried over to Ireland.
Young boy at like 16.
16, but then there's other reports that it was like actually he was originally from Ireland, and then he was forced into a job that his dad was doing. He didn't want to, so he went to Britain, but then they captured it. So there's a lot of interesting
alternate stories about him.
There's alternate stories. Allegedly, the reason the green is the color is because, again, allegedly, he was carrying around a shamrock, which he is in that picture.
About it, right.
And shamrocks are green. And so what was he teaching people?
I think he was probably teaching the Trinity with the
yes.
three.
He was teaching the Trinity, which is
Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Just take over.
I can help you with
my
this.
brain
Wait
food,
till
Lori.
you get to your next brain food because I'm all over that one. So
no,
look out.
no, go ahead,
I'm way
please.
ahead of you. No, it's
the
cool.
viewers want to hear what you have to say, not me.
One. He hates that. So what else do you have about St. Patrick? Anything else?
So St. Patrick, I'm just kidding.
Oh, no, I totally know that.
So St. Patrick also, so there are several legends, but he did bring a lot of Christianity to the island of Ireland, where they previously had a paganistic, multi-theistic religion mostly. But there's some interesting legends, or whatever. One of them being the whole shamrock thing, but another one being where he banished all the snakes from the island. Now, geologically, or is it archaeologically?
It'd be geographically.
No, but anyway, there's no evidence that snakes have been on the island since the glacial ages. So, anyway, I guess he did a good job retroactively. So happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. I would say it in an Irish accent.
I can't. I got a coworker who's really good at it, and I'm so not good at the Irish brogue. Okay, so my next word is.
Hey, there's another one. There's the snakes.
Oh, there it is.
Out with you, snakes!
You. Banish the snakes. That's really. There's some really interesting stories about St. Patrick's. It's definitely worth looking up. So, all right, my next word is soporific. And it is an adjective or a noun. As an adjective, I will use it here, causing or tending to cause sleep. Soporific drugs, something that tends to dull awareness or alertness, or relating to, marked by sleepiness and lethargy. Soporific as a noun is a soporific agent, or a hypnotic agent of some sort. It is said that the effect of eating too much lettuce is soporific. I have never felt sleepy after eating lettuces, but then I am not a rabbit. And this quote comes from The Tale of the Flopsy Bunnies by Beatrix Potter. And the children of Benjamin Bunny were very nearly done in, of course, by Mr. McGregor, because they ate soporific lettuces that put them into a deep sleep. And their near fate can help you recall the history of soporific. So the term traces to Latin sopor, which means deep sleep. That root is related to somnus, or insomnia type thing. So very, very interesting word, the soporific heat of summer. The medication is soporific, so do not drive after taking it.
Interesting. All right, my last one. Graphic, gentlemen. There you have it, the first council. Do you suppose that's, see, now I'm going to apologize to the viewers because I didn't look it up on how you actually pronounce it. But
it's Nicaea.
Are you sure it's Nicaea?
I'm the daughter of a theologian.
But it shouldn't that be Latin?
We pronounce it in regular vernacular.
Okay, I'm going to go with what you're saying.
It's Nicaea.
I'm going to go with what you say.
Yeah.
So the first council of Nicaea. This occurred in the year 325. So this would have been very shortly, well, 50 years, give or take, before St. Patrick did his deal. And the idea with the shamrock, right, with the Trinity, the shamrock, unless you have a four-leaf clover, a shamrock has the three leaves, and so he allegedly was representing, hey, here's this concept of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit as being one thing, but separate in a certain sense. And it was interesting because for those that were previously pagan, they did have other Trinity-type concepts in their pagan religion, so it shouldn't have been too hard of a teaching, but it was actually in the first council of Nicaea where they said, here, how can we explain this? How can we present this to Christians around the world? And then they came up with the concept of, actually it was primarily, with the first council of Nicaea, it was primarily Father and Son. And it was sort of like the Holy Spirit, how does it fit in? And it wasn't until the first council of Constantinople, which was like 50 years later, that they said, no, it's actually Trinity. And so I'm not sure how Trinity fits in with the shamrock. It may not. Maybe it was legend. But First Council of Nicaea and First Council of Constantinople, back in the 4th century, have determined how we view for many of the Christian denominations, how we view God and Jesus.
It's so interesting because in my denomination, which is Missouri Synod, we recite the Nicene Creed frequently from Nicaea. So the Nicene Creed is the one that says, and we believe in the Holy Ghost, the Lord and giver of life, who proceeds from the Father and the Son, who with the Father and the Son together is worshipped and glorified, who spoke by the prophets. And we believe in one holy Christian apostolic church. We acknowledge one baptism for the remission of sins, and we look for the resurrection of the dead and the life of the world to come. Amen.
Tomorrow night we have Clay Jenkinson, who is a huge scholar on Thomas Jefferson. I believe Thomas Jefferson was a non-Trinitarian.
Interesting.
Yes.
We'll have to ask him. That's a good question. We can ask him tomorrow.
I think I know the answer. But hang with us. We're going to be back with JR's EOs. One more coming up.
When you can't find answers to your recurring health challenges, it can feel like your health and your future are being held hostage. The Wellness Way is a network of health restoration clinics that think and act differently to solve the health challenges others can't. Here, we disrupt the standard approach to care through a combination of testing, individual plans, and one-on-one guidance, putting your health and your future where they belong, in your own hands.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Life changes, so what's on your horizon? Horizon Financial Bank has been helping North Dakotans with financial goals since 1905. And now we're here to serve you in Bismarck. We're North Dakota proud, and being from North Dakota means something. A bank with small town roots. We've crossed many horizons, and now we're here to help you cross yours. We're Horizon Financial Bank for the changes on your horizon.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Welcome back to No Apologies on Beck. All right, we're trying to lip read here as we're going in, and it turned into just
like
a
bad lip
ridiculous.
reading.
It turned into ridiculosity.
Okay, all right.
So, JR's EOs. We are on what are we calling? It's number 40, not necessarily for us, but. All right, this one is called the Memorandum on Protecting Women's Health at Home and Abroad.
Yeah, because we can't just, do our own country. We have to do everybody's country, apparently. Let's take a look at the first graphic,
Women's
please.
health. Women's health.
All right, women should have access to the health care they need. For too many women today, both at home and abroad, that is not possible. Undue restrictions on the use of federal funds have made it harder for women to obtain necessary health care. I mean, some of these sentences, I just have to laugh out they're worded. So, undue restrictions on the use of federal funds, because we have to wide open those federal funds so everybody can use them to...
Restrictions on federal funds, it's really hard for me to fathom that someone would say you can't help women's health care with federal funds. But let's go to the next graphic.
Right.
Maybe we'll get more information here. Let's see. The federal government must take action to ensure that women at home and around the world, because we are responsible for women around the world, are able to access complete medical information, including with respect to their reproductive health. Reproductive health.
Complete medical information. So they're saying that women are not getting enough information about their bodies and how to control their bodies. Is that what they are saying with this?
I don't know, reproductive health. I mean, I think it means that you want your ovaries kicking out those eggs, and I don't know what else does it mean.
They're not getting medical information? I mean, that just...
Is there a problem with women's reproductive health?
I don't know. I don't know. I think they're viewing abortion as healthcare.
Wait, what are you talking about?
They're talking about abortion as healthcare.
No, it says reproductive health.
But that's virtue signaling. That's just signaling that
it says reproductive health.
But that's their term for abortion. That's what they're trying to tell you.
Reproductive health is abortion?
Yes. Yes. In the left's mind.
Reproductive health.
Yeah.
Do I have reproductive health?
No, you're a boy.
Am I not
women's health
50% of the equation in reproducing?
Not according to, I'm just saying, not according to the
I want funds for my reproductive health.
You should think so. You know what? I saw nothing about men's health in that whole entire executive order. Did you see anything about men's health in there?
No. And of course I'm being silly.
Of course.
This is the thing, is that everything is about women's reproductive health on the left, and it doesn't mean anything. They just don't want to say abortion. They don't want to admit that abortion is so preeminently significant on what's important to them that they call it reproductive health. And I had a conversation. I'm gonna digress for a moment.
Okay.
I had a conversation in Minneapolis at a picnic, and we were having discussions, and someone was saying something. I'm just really all about women's health, is what they said. I'm like, well, what do you mean by women's health? And well, just women's health. And I'm like, do you mean abortion? Because if you mean abortion, let's just talk about abortion.
Right.
And they said, no, all women's health. I'm like, well, what's not being funded for women's health? Because breast cancer research is hugely funded.
Correct.
Even heart disease and stroke for women is hugely funded. If you want to talk about inequity in health funding, let's talk about prostate cancer, sister.
You're exactly right. That's exactly right.
So that stuff isn't a problem. So it does come down to you're worried about abortion, but you want to talk about women's health. Two different things.
Yes, exactly. But that is their terminology. So whenever you see that, ding, 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 say in your head, oh, what they're trying to tell you is abortion, but without saying the word.
I think they mean non-reproductive health.
That could be. That could be. All right, let's take a look at another part of this executive order here. It is the policy of my administration to support women's and girls' sexual and reproductive health and rights in the United States as well as globally. This globally stuff is bugging me too. Maybe it's just the last 4 years of understanding how important America First is that's gotten in my head now, and I think, oh, why are we funding global women's reproductive, quote, reproductive health? And why are we having anything to do with abortions in any other countries? Anyone?
Also, I want to know what a sexual right is. Because it's not sexual in the sense of genderal.
Right.
It's sexual in the sense of sex, like as in copulation.
Right.
Or some other aspect, I guess, Bill Clinton would have a very limited definition. But I'm just talking, what is a sexual right?
Right. Great question.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I think they're veering off a little bit.
I have the right to an orgasm?
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
You don't like talking about the old
Please put the next graphic up.
I don't understand. I'm just trying to understand, Lori.
The expansion of the policy has also affected all other areas of global health assistance, limiting the United States' ability to work with local partners around the world and inhibiting their efforts to confront serious health challenges. And now we get into some new ones, such as HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria, among others. So now they're veering off and away from women's health and talking about some of the health challenges. Now, I hate to tell you this, but men can get tuberculosis as well. Men can have malaria, and men can also have HIV/AIDS. So why are they singling out women? That's sexist.
Yeah, well, that's
This executive order is terribly sexist.
They put women in a special class to feel like victims, to feel oppressed, like they do with everyone. They will categorize everyone into an oppressed category,
and elevate them,
except for me.
Yeah,
people like me.
White male. Yeah.
Yep.
You're out.
And so that's what it's all about.
Well, it's very, very frustrating. Do we have one more? I think we have. Okay. Such restrictions on global health assistance are particularly harmful in light of the coronavirus because
it has nothing to do with it.
It has nothing to do with it. And then the very last one, the Secretary of State shall take the steps necessary to resume funding to the United Nations Population Fund. Yeah, so we're going to the UN and whatever. All right, I'm done. Blah, 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 blah.
All this crap, and all they're talking about is we want to make sure that we restore federal funding for people to get abortions that Trump made more difficult or did away with. Yep. Good job, JR. Good job.
Across the globe. Yep.
Good job.
All right, next time, tomorrow, you're not going to want to miss the show because we have the inimitable Clay Jenkinson.
Clay Jenkinson, he's got the bona fides list this long. Stick with us. Tomorrow night, we will be back. Next is Debbie Schlissel with No Filter. Don't change your channel.